Derry is a quiet town until you look beneath the surface, beneath the snow, beneath the drains, beneath the smiling faces. Something ancient is watching and waiting. A little boy fleeing into the night. A family car that should have meant safety until the doors lock and the world stops making sense. A fisherman's son dragged beneath the water by a burning ghost of the past. A lampshade stitched with screaming faces that were never meant to be seen again. And a soldier forced to step into the mind of a boy holding memories no human should hold. These are not just scenes. These are warnings, messages from something older than Derry itself. So tonight, we're breaking down The deeper you travel into Derry's hidden history, the more one truth becomes impossible to ignore. This town does not create monsters, it attracts them. And sometimes, it keeps them. Because just when you think the horrors have peaked, when you think you've already seen the worst, the town reveals another secret, another piece of forbidden history, another nightmare wearing a familiar face. And that brings us to one of the most chilling revelations in the first half of the series, a moment that doesn't rely on jump scares or gore, but on something far more terrifying: memory. The skeleton that remembers you. Long before the red balloons floated into view, before Pennywise learned to speak through smiling teeth, Derry already had a way of marking its chosen ones. And young Francis, who would later grow into the hardened, calculating General Shaw, was one of them. But back in 1908, he was just a boy wandering through a carnival that smelled like candied apples and wet sawdust. He didn't know this was the moment his entire future would be rewritten. He didn't know the carnival wasn't a carnival at all, but a hunting ground, a feeding ritual, a welcome ceremony for the willing and the innocent. And when the lights flickered and the music warped and that impossibly tall figure with a single swollen eye leaned out from behind the curtain, Francis discovered that sometimes the monsters don't hide in the dark. Sometimes they stand right in front of you, and they know your name. But here's the part the show doesn't say out loud, the part that twists the story into something far more sinister. The skeleton man wasn't just scaring Francis. He was studying him, testing him, choosing him. Because decades later, that same terrified boy would become the general who sends Dick Hallorann into the depths beneath Derry, straight toward the ancient entity that chose him long before he even understood fear. Was that coincidence? Or destiny? Or something darker? Something the town itself orchestrated? And if Derry marks its children that young, who else has already been chosen without knowing it? Let that question linger. The circus wagon that remembers everything. Speaking of chosen ones, let's return to Dick Hallorann, whose journey is rapidly becoming one of the most dangerous psychic missions in Stephen King's universe. Guided only by a slingshot that still carries the echo of a childhood scream, Dick enters the underground labyrinth beneath Derry, a place that feels alive, breathing, watching. And when the air grows thin and the walls pulse like veins, he finally reaches it: the circus wagon.